Aime and RNG going at it once more. This was our final game, match point for both teams. And Kog'Maw is actually just entirely taken off the table. Uzi doesn't want it. They don't want Jin Zhao having it. And there's Northless, the eternal ban against Amazing Jace, so he doesn't get that one. It is Jace and Rumble from Aime, however.
Yeah, same bans to be seen, adding in a Rengar this time, however, from the side of Aime. So perhaps jungle is still where they're going to be looking. Lee Sin first rotation, again, always something worth considering. But Lulu's still going to be there, and you just have to wonder at what stage do they put more priority on this Lulu from the side of Aime.
Final ban, Camille and Amazing J. Also technically a let me ban. This time RNG did actually use all three of their bans. Aime.
Incredible.
First pick. Okay, it's going to be Ben for Lee Sin. That's what we're focusing. Just leave open Lulu now. Yeah,
we mentioned the Lee Sin already. They did this in game number 1, and they actually just banned away the Gragas instead as a different champion. So we'll have to look at what they do for picks 2 and 3, but more so, do RNG still want to take the Lulu and deny that pick away from Aime with the Kog'Maw already gone? Are they still comfortable doing that?
Possibly. We know that Jin Zhao can play Twitch well, so there are other hyper carries on the table for Aime if they want it. RNG will have this at the back of their mind as they lock in Elise for MLXG.
Fantastic choice actually for RNG through the jungle position. MLXG does look his best when he's able to consistently be ganking everybody. And this is one of those champions where he'll rush boots of mobility because MLXG and find the jungler or a lane immediately.
Second pick. 1 second left on the clock. It's going to be Nami coming in here. So there is no Lulu indeed. That does give Aime the chance to put the eggs back in the Jin Zhao basket.
This is one of those weird times where you may even look at the Nami and say we're playing Leona, but we're actually already looking at RNG playing the Nami, so we'll have to watch where they actually want to go with this one.
Ashe locked in for Jin Zhao, so it's not going to be there right now. Fizz is still open if Athena or Amazing J want to flex it here.
Calm is also a capable flex. They really want to put some emphasis towards that. Usually the bottom lane is what's locked in right here for the blue side.
This will be spicy. Let's see if Road actually locks it in.
Road looked like a god when he played it.
It's a good pick if you can play it. 54% win rate on over 24 games in the LPL. Some of these supports are real good at Thresh, and it will be put to the test in this game against RNG. Lucian locked in for Uzi. He just got his signature pick, so good luck.
Yeah, they're going to have a pretty tough time against Uzi on his Lucian when he's got a Nami backing him up. Throwing an SMLZ from earlier in the day. Looked like an absolute menace when he was running around on the Lucian. Almost got them back to a victory from the depths of a defeat. And it's Uzi this time around, the Lucian.
Yeah, the Lucian. Talia and LeBlanc off the table from RNG and Aime respectively. And we look towards that final ban. Ning will be locking it in here for RNG. It's going to be another mid lane, top lane.
Same rules have to apply this time. Take perhaps the Syndra away from Xiaohu. Still got to protect your carries, and we haven't revealed the mid laner actually from Aime. Wonder if Orianna is going to be looked at.
And there it is. Orianna is the ban from RNG. Aime. Final ban is Syndra towards Xiaohu, so not a huge surprise on that front.
And this is where you look perhaps towards a Vladimir again. Something we haven't seen in this set in particular, but has been cropping up as arguably the strongest mid laner at the moment for team fighting when you get to that one item spike of the Proto Belt. I think Vladimir is something they should seriously look at, but right now I'm just guessing it's Shen.
Yeah, it's Shen being up and let me in Amazing J right here. That could be a priority. 1 second, running it all the way down. It's Rise in the end to Xiaohu.
There you go. So not knowing who he's going to be playing against, they still lock in the Rise for RNG. Now, what we do usually see when Xiaohu gets to pick up this champion is incredible rotating with MLXG. So working in tandem, being a fantastic team, and getting towards side lanes incredibly quickly.
Aime considering their next pick. See what it is. It is a mid laner and a top laner coming in, and they lock in Twisted Fate. It's only been seen 6 times so far with less than varying success.
And only Athena and Cool, I believe, have been the players actually picking up the Twisted Fate in this split. But everybody in the LPL... Republic has a game, there you go. Everybody in the LPL is a Twisted Fate main at heart. Whether they've played it in the last year or not, they can always throw back to the choice. Athena and Bamey actually have both played it when they were both on Aime. There we go.
Kled, final pick for Amazing J. Gives him something he can do a bit of work on. And also denies it from Let Me. So back to the drawing board. What does Let Me now want in that top lane?
Lots of top laners taken away, but there you go.
It's going to be Fiora. Damn, okay. Throwing down the gauntlet. Saying I can do one better if we're looking at bruises and duelists. We have the full compositions, so no Galio in this game, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But still, Fiora, I'll take that one.
It's actually a really good matchup for Fiora into Kled. It's just way too telegraphed with the bear trap. You'll always be able to hit a parry and stun somebody. Your vitals are always going to be present as well. Kled, a champion that can only really go forwards. Whereas Let Me will be very happy with open arms, will welcome the forwards movements of Amazing J, and will fight him for it.
Yeah, we'll issue a challenge, but considering the fact that we've seen 10 Fioras and 2 of them have won, Fiora doesn't have a great track record in the LPL, and that was some gymnastics skill. I don't think I'd be able to go that far. He basically did a squat.
One of the deeper bows I've ever seen.
Damn.
This is Aime looking at his former coach, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, last game. And Aime really would like this win.
They wouldn't just really like it, Pulse. They need it. This is a super crucial moment for Aime. Being able to come to Game 3 is nice. But this is how they decide their own fate. They can get the victory, get the win, lock themselves into playoffs.
I mean, Snake are also waiting in the wings. It's not quite as dire now, because before, if there was a 2-0 from Aime, it was Snake eliminated. There is still a chance for LGD to play Blue Shell later in the day. We want to see that performance once more from Aime, what they brought in Game 1. That was also facilitated by the mistakes from RNG. It seems like they have cleared up a lot of those issues. So now, if Aime take it right here, they absolutely deserve the win against RNG. And we have the full compositions, both teams playing towards their strengths, and Aime are putting a lot of their stock, a lot of their hopes in this Twisted Fate, in this mid lane, utilizing these global ultimates to try and bring them a win.
Yeah, not just the Twisted Fate, but the Thresh from Road. Very individual, mechanically intensive champions is what Aime have defaulted to backing themselves with. But the last time we saw it, Road looked like an absolute machine and does not miss the hooks. Athena also showing his prowess on Twisted Fate, has done so in the past. It's not all about winning laning phase this time for Aime, just the same as the first 2 games, but there is a lot more strength there throughout those lanes.
Oh, if there's a time to turn up, it's right now, so why not pick the mechanical champion so you give yourself the opportunity to do just that. Bond of Stoneborn Pact.
Correct.
That's the one. It's the same icon, so my mind always goes to
yeah. No, I feel ya. I feel ya. And also Ignite being used in the bottom lane alongside that, so a bit of extra sustain for Jin Zhao as he goes for Fervor instead of Warlords. That'll be super handy for him, as well as a bit of extra health there for Road. More kill threat perhaps in lane just by having that Ignite. Up against the Nami, they want to be able to take him down.
Just moving through the jungle at this time. Many pings coming out from RNG, strategizing at this level 1. An Amazing J, learn from the last game, don't step forwards. This time there's no real threat as MLXG starting in the bot side.
It's going to be a pretty standard start. Mostly Sins now are always going towards their blue buff, especially on the blue side of the map. And you'd expect from there it usually goes to Wolves, then Wolves to red, and then they make their decisions as to where they would like to go. It's pretty much your average jungle clear. We've been seeing that for quite a while, but it's only just recently come back again.
Very true. It's also interesting to see Road move away from Courage of the Colossus, which is the typical direct pickup.
It means that he's not going to be walking directly at Ming and just taking the Courage trade with Flay at level 1. It means that they're respecting the level 1 a little bit more so. But still, if they find those engages, they just can't force them. They'll be fine.
Xiao in this mid lane did choose to blind pick that Rise into Athena. Trying to get that early bit of farm. There's the flight. Road, where's the follow-up from here on out? Uzi did take a lot of damage. He's trading that for the support's life. Top lane. Top lands. And Let Me has dismounted Kled, so he's also in good shape.
And while normally it's not that big of a deal to dismount a Skull from Kled, being Fiora, having the vitals, you actually get a lot from it as well. That was quick.
MLXG right into the open arms of Ben4, but MLXG, this is going to be close. I think he's winning, but the Venomous Bite comes down. Yeah, Ben4 flashing away into Amazing J, and MLXG also has to flash out.
So junglers will trade their summoner spells. Interestingly enough, Ben4 commits to taking the fight. Luckily for him, of course, he's going to have Amazing J around to force the summoner spell trade, because really MLXG was winning that by forcing Ben4 to run away. And that was a potential dive that they were actually looking at. So it's good of Ben4 to be there at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it's a little bit different if you're already in that bush, Ben4, because you can get a couple auto attacks down between your Qs. But as it was, you didn't get the execution damage down.
Good hook.
Ming hooked in. Road has a flay as well, but Uzi is doing so much damage. Double tap! Not quite enough to finish him off, but was incredibly close.
And Jin Zhao didn't even use his heal. That is so ballsy from the Ashe. Now they're stuck under turret. Remember, Nami has the sustain. Rhodes not having a great time, even though the hooker connected well. No complaints, I guess, from the side of IMA because Rhodes alive, but yeah, be counting his blessings that he didn't get the heal from Jin Zhao and survived. This is why he used potions.
Yes, it is, and Jin Zhao, that was a real trust fall, but
that was like the biggest trust fall of all time.
Yeah. In the end, it's okay, and it's just a matter of Jin Zhao trying to get this farm. He's going to be denied just a little, but on the seas, on equal footing, it's now this recall from Road. And a question of whether he can come back in time. So Jin Zhao doesn't lose too much. Looking towards his mid lane though, Athena, also on fairly equal footing. Ben4.
They want to get the stun card off, so you have to watch how Athena plays this lane. If Xiaohu feels like something's up, you immediately run away. Remember, he also has the cleanse, so there's no point flash engaging in the mid lane. Unless they have CC to follow it up, which they currently have if Road comes.
Yeah. Got this duo walking into the enemy jungle. It's the crab. Going to be the objective for now for Ben4 and Road. That's going to go over. It's also interesting to think about the fact that iMate is still using Ben4 over Flawless.
That's hit by 2 Scry's orbs at the same time. RNG have well and truly been slotted.
Super revealed. That was actually a good blast plant. Ben4 and Road clearing out these wards as well. And so far in this early game, iMate doing fairly well. The top lane is falling behind in terms of farm. And he is doing a good job. And as much as we said it was scripted and easy to dodge, let me just took that damage.
He managed to do the impossible, which is to somehow miss the parry on the most timed and even ticks.
It's not like it changed. It doesn't change. It's always the same.
Like it ticks loudly to say, I'm going to do it now.
Maybe he was sandbagging.
Mechanical sandbag.
It's a mechanical sandbag.
He's got his weight vest on.
Make Amazing Jake want to go in. And you get LXG for the gank. But level 6, let me use this opportunity. Dismount Skull once more.
And just hard wins, especially at level 6. Really does rely on junglers being around on the side of IMA, otherwise top lane's an auto-lose situation. And for that to be, for a Fiora to get a win that easily in laning phase, this early into the game, does not speak positively towards IMA's current situation. Do not tank those.
No, he's got a minion wave coming in. It's not going to be too bad. But had let me be recalling in the closest brush, he probably would have died, or at least burned flash. And in the jungle, Ben4, he's back to full health. He did crack open the honey fruit pinata, so he's all good. Athena gets his first blue buff of the game. And Zhao, who still hasn't gone back to base, funny enough. He's at 60 farm, and now he finally has, because I was questioning why he hadn't gotten his early tier.
Yeah, he had a lot of items to purchase, unfortunately. Xiaohu's not going to be efficient with his tier stacks this early into the game. But it also speaks towards his laning phase being perfectly fine, so honestly, Athena in the exact same boat as him needs to go back and spend and get his Lucidity boots as well. It'll coincide better for the Twisted Fate, however, as the ultimate's able to be used at any willing time now. And he may even be close to more than just, okay, they're not Lucidities either way. He's going AP still.
Yeah. The AP carry in the mid lane is indeed going AP.
Whatever, man. I understand why he's gone for Mercs, but...
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, there is a bunch of AP damage, at least in the early and mid game, that he's going to be receiving from Xiaohu and MLXG.
means he's afraid of the 2v2, or he's building himself to actually fight the 2v2 successfully.
Yeah.
Because Elise is the only really big thing besides the Rise that you need to have those mercs for. The skirmishes are still a valid reason to actually have the merc trades completed.
A little bit different. Culling's going to be used here, so probably a recall in the near future from Uzi. Unless he really wants to get the inside track on Dragon.
You have to wonder where they're actually going right now and why it looks to be like the Dragon.
We wanted Crab.
Because he wouldn't have enough money to buy anything truly meaningful just yet. He'd be about 15 to 20 CS off his completed Blade of the Ruined King.
I guess it was just set up for Dragon by killing the Crab.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As much as I want it to be set up, I feel like it's just a denial setup.
Yeah. This is interesting. But honestly, his ultimate's already a third backup. Ben4, waiting for a gank opportunity. But RNG, I think, have already sniffed him out. Arrow still lands onto Uzi. The hook. Oh, Ming, ultimate bodyguard, but they might still both fall. No, Uzi's turning it around. Ben4 drops. It's a 1-for-1. And Uzi, in the end, it was Ming somehow picking up the kill.
I'm not sure what happened there, unfortunately, with Ben4, but he flash kicked him and Uzi didn't move. He just got kicked straight into the wall. I hope we could see a replay of that one.
Might have been the angling.
Yeah, it must have been a really poor angle because he tried to flash kick and just didn't hit the flash the right way. So this means it is going to be a trade, so to speak. Uzi's going to live to collect the farm, so that's still the biggest win of all. But really, Ming gets the kill, Jin Zhao gets the kill. Things are still positive for the side of Aimee.
Athena just barely out of range. Couldn't trade back on that Rune Prison. Yeah, had it been something else, I'm sure we would have had a pause. Teams would have spotted it. Let's take a look at this
so
one.
the arrow,
Nice
by
hitbox,
the way, incredible. Good flash from Ming to block, but this is the flash kick. See what I mean? Like Uzi just didn't actually move, and that would have potentially been 2 kills clean from Aimee.
It looked like he used Relentless Pursuit at the same time and caused something weird. But
yeah.
Yeah, players thought it was legit, so I'm happy to believe them. And yeah, at the end of that one, it was 1-for-1. But the kill on RNG went over to Ming. Oh no, Uzi.
Ash has no arrow.
The ultimate cheese.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to get him just yet.
We're going to go fishing, but we've got Athena coming down to the bot lane as well. Instant bubble, but the Dragon with the death sentence, and indeed it is, living up to its name. And Uzi goes down.
There you go. So Twisted Fate gets the opportunity to use the ultimate pretty much immediately from base. They get another opportunity to make it work, and now the first Twisted Fate ultimate is a success. The second one becomes a little bit more potent. Just like that, you know, Elysian gets away in bottom once. The Ash Arrow hits once. Everything gets completely blown out of proportions. This time around in a bad way for RNG.
2,000 gold now to Jin Zhao. And this is looking very good for their chances. Just starting off the game, 2-1. And just 11 minutes into this game, Blade of the Ruined King completed at 11 minutes is exceptionally good. Top lane, Let Me is being chased down. Great pull coming in, Grand Challenge has been issued. Ben4 wants to come in here, connects the Q, but...
LXG actually still looking for something.
Ooh.
There you go, better safe than sorry.
Especially with Zhao Hu heading up, I think he caught him on that ward. Yeah, indeed he did. So it's much better just to burn the Dragon's Rage. Fully agree with that decision from Ben4.
Yeah.
Oh, the hook landed onto Uzi, right past the minions, following up with the arrow. Road, a master fisher.
Straight up put Uzi into the bin. Welcome to the Ash meta, Uzi. This time you don't get to play it, and look what happens.
He's actually shaking his head.
Pretty angry guy.
I feel really bad. I mean, that was a Matrix hook right in front of those minions as they were coming in.
He was just pushing up. He didn't have Ming to help him this time around, and it's just going to keep happening.
Oh, boy. This is so good for Jin Zhao and so good for the chances of Aimee. This is exactly what they need. They could snowball this from here. 3-0 Ash.
I guess the big concerns moving into the rest of this game for Aimee is actually just going to be through the top lane of Let Me. Also, MLXG has been pretty much invisible in this game. When he starts to have that impact, he's got his completed jungle item, like maybe as classic solo queue Thresh was looking for Uzi in between the turrets.
Oh man, well, Uzi just needs to resign himself to farming for a little bit, for a little while.
You have to worry that Let Me will still live here.
Yeah, well, the Q didn't land from Ben 4, so...
Now, even if it hit, I just have a feeling that Let Me was going to turn on the thrusters, use his ultimate, and start killing people instead.
Charging Dragon's Rage up, though.
Ben 4's
Amazing J.
attacking a losing lane. That's my problem with it. Just let it go. You know, it's a Kled. He'll still be able to farm under his turret if it comes to it. He'll be perfectly fine. You don't need to dive the top lane. Help the bottom side of your map secure the Drake. Secure the second bottom lane turret. You know what? Dive mid lane with your bottom lane. You've now got Thresh completely unlocked. I just don't feel like there's any justifications towards actually going to the top side of the map to look for a chance to take out a Fiora.
It's also exceptional solo queue advice. Focus on the lanes that are winning. If your Darius just went 0-5, just tell him to stop feeding and go towards the lane that is ahead.
And what's 0-6 mean when you're already 0-5, right?
Yeah, precisely. And while we're not in the same position, we are seeing how this is turning out for Amazing J as he's got Athena coming in. Jumps out of the brush, will dismount Kled, but Athena holds on to the gold card until the very end. And Let Me takes the full damage out from wild cards, and Amazing J even gets Skull back. See you later, Let Me. That's another kill to Aime.
That was a lot of effort to take out Let Me, to be fair. Look at the movements now from RNG. They almost found themselves with an opportunity to trade for it, but not to be seen. Athena gets a gank into the top lane, and it was hard fought. They really had to work for that one, but they did get the kill onto the Fiora.
Finally, in the end, MLXG will be happy to eat up this minion wave, however. So he's not got that going for him. However, he did just screw up a minion for Big Boss Uzi, who is probably not happy with that result. But now he's in the top lane. Both towers are up, and he's got Ming also coming in. He would really love this tower. As a result, Jin Jiao's coming up, but his support is lagging behind him.
I mean, at the very least, they've just found a free wave to clear, avoiding their opponents now in Jin Jiao and Road, who are super far ahead. That is a Zealand advantage, so the crit's going to be there as a major difference. But more importantly, Road's just a monster.
Round warp fake out. Ultimate from Amazing J, can he just scream into the bottom lane? Into the top lane, rather.
I guess it was scary enough to deter them, Pulse?
I guess so.
You hear some loud yelling, of course you'd run away from it.
Yeah, Athena locked up in the middle lane, but Ben4's there to catch him. Amazing J flashes over the wall. Oh my god! MLXG does not get the kill onto Ben4, and the gold card follows him. Athena is actually playing incredibly well this game.
Yeah, what you mean is, oh my gold. Unfortunately, it follows him through the flash to actually connect with a kill, and that was RNG. MLXG was looking for it. He definitely had the right idea. He was going to get a free stun out onto the Twisted Fate, but Ben4 had him completely mapped out. He was watching where he'd be. Right place, right time. And remember, their bottom lane is winning. The 2v2 is winning. So now they get free pressure onto the top side of the turret. They actually can bring multiple parties up here to help secure this one, if not get most of its health missing.
Trying to take out these minions. Culling's going to be used, and it will shove Jin Jiao away from the tower. But I really got to praise Athena once again for just the timing on his cards. He knows exactly when to throw them.
Yeah, well, this time around, he doesn't have an opportunity beforehand, because Amazing J forces the repel. So now he waits for him to come down, throws the card.
See you later.
Easiest kill of your life if you Ben 4, even though it doesn't look like it with his health bar.
It was never going to happen. That top tower is very low. One more push will knock it over, but Aime not in position to do so. Uzi and Ming will head back to base, and at the very least, Uzi has caught up on farm. He's just behind in kills now, so around 900 to 1,000 gold. It's going to be the Berserk Greaves. And farming up, scaling up for RNG, while Aime trying to exacerbate their advantage. That is the name of the game.
I guess the other big thing as well
from Athena here.
Like when you're looking at their items, when you're looking at their scaling, and who has the advantage when it comes to the later stages of the game, Aime are definitely no slouches with their scaling. Their damage is still going to be incredible, especially with a Twisted Fate being able to get 3-4 items and one-hitting people with gold cards. That's always something that you have to look towards when you're on the side of RNG. Who do we send to those side lanes? Who's going to split push against him? Xiaohu has cleanse, so he's able to 1v1, but 1-3-1ing isn't going to be one of his specialties, even though Ryze is okay at it. You'd expect that Athena is going to be the biggest added win condition on top of Aime's roster, whereas RNG, they look towards Let Me. And so I'm pretty sure that he can 1v1 anybody that he comes up against, because he's going for that build where he's going to be able to split push and take people out.
The boot was going to be given over as well to Athena really quickly. Uzi and Ming are playing defensively in the top side, and rightly so. Jin Jiao will collect another tower. Second one of the game here for iMate. Next dragon on the horizon will be that mountain dragon. Jiao moving into this bot side. Realm warps in. Will meet Let Me here as well, but the charge has been activated. And amazing, Jay is out.
Yeah, screams his way to safety. Didn't have flash, so I can understand what RNG were doing, but there's a pretty big problem happening on the opposite side of the map. Twisted Fate has ulti. Lee Sin's also nearby.
This is a bit scary for Uzi and Ming. One minion left, protecting it with their lives. Aimee need to wait for this next minion wave to come in now. But MLXG was in the right place at the right time. And Athena goes back to mid lane to protect this one from Xiao, who Letme's on his way into this mid lane, but it looks like he's just roaming around, placing down some vision.
Yeah. Shouldn't mean too much with him just being around the map. Athena has blue buff, so he'll be able to successfully clear the waves mid against the Ryze, no problem. And then they actually still... You would imagine Aimee... They just had a pot shot at the top lane in the turret. They were never really going to commit all into taking it out. What they're actually looking for would be more so the mid lane outer turret, because that is what unlocks the map for them the most. And they've got Twisted Fate, they've brought Ashe in. Remember, the ultimates are still there. If they ever get a hook off or decide to pull the trigger, there are some squishy people to take apart on the side of RNG.
Yes, there is. Despite constant advantages being picked up by Aimee, I can't help but feel like the game has slowed to the point where it's not the same snowball that we saw in Game 2 from RNG for sure. But Aimee want to keep up the tempo, because at the end of the day, they do have a Twisted Fate and a Lee Sin. And while they do stuff later into the game, mid-game is really where they shine. And Jin Jiao, a lot is on his shoulders the later we go into this game. He's contending with Let Me, Xiaohu, and Uzi, all who do a lot of damage in that late game.
You have seen already throughout this series, however, that Aimee are very happy to just take it to late game, try and scale up with their team composition.
I've seen it all split, Rusty.
Pretty much, but they always usually have giant hiccups in the mid game and hurdles that they have to try and overcome. And they're hurdles that they put in place themselves. So this is where we watch Aimee and we question if they're able to keep it going.
Xiaohu has to use his Cleanse Flash. Flay, hook doesn't land. It was a good setup, but he was predicting the juke there from Xiaohu. But Xiaohu predicted the predict on the juke and then just walked forwards.
When you predict the predicts.
Expanding mind meme.
Hate that meme.
You posted one. RNG.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. I literally saw it on Twitter the other day. I say the other day, it was like 2 weeks ago. But I know you did.
I refuse to comment.
Look it up at Rusty the Caster.
Am I having a stroke or is that burnt toast?
That's actually, it does smell like burnt toast. I'm a little bit scared because we're in a room full of electronics. So, definitely smells like burnt
good.
toast.
That means we're not having a stroke, so that's a win. Anyway, I just needed confirmation.
I want to know what that is now. Anyway, dragon's being started up. Is it going to be a mountain dragon? Perhaps it's a smell of mountain dragon, who knows. Amazing J is here with Ben 4. Take this one out. Smite comes down. And that is actually very nice for Aimee to have.
Yeah, easy free objective for them to pick up again. Having the Blade of the Ruin King 80 carry, Twisted Fate. There's a lot of champions that are very adept at taking down the Baron as we move further into this game. And as we're at the 21-minute mark, Baron is available. And so this is where RNG have to direct their attention. It's super simple for a winning team like Aimee right now to actually pressure those areas around the river.
I like that we've been showing the gold more in this series and indeed the day. But we can see across the board, almost 2,000 advantage to Jin Jiao is pretty big. And Athena in the mid lane, of course. And
the beauty of Twisted Fate being last hits give you extra gold. So even though he is 2-0, a little bit behind in farm, he's still got all that bonus gold from last hit.
The loaded die is pretty good. Therefore, taking away these camps. SOFM, eat your heart out. This time he's actually doing it with his team, so a little bit different. Not quite an SOFM.
No.
Xiaohu still playing goalkeeper in this mid lane.
But it has slowed down a lot again. Like we mentioned this, but at what point do Aimee actually make a play? They keep sending Ashe to their side lanes, they're never sending Athena, and he's the member of the team that has the ultimate and can get around the map. Right now, Xiaohu and Uzi are sharing farm because they're trying to actually siege the middle lane, and Twisted Fate's wave clear is still going to be perfectly fine. So what are both of these teams really looking towards? And why is all of it actually just resting on straight up getting this middle lane turret. They could probably, RNG could probably afford to send Uzi to a side lane or send Xiaohu to a side lane and have the other wave clear mid.
And in fact, that's exactly what RNG are doing. Uzi is going to exterminate these minions.
Now he has to go back mid though.
Yeah, engage comes out, but two of the big engage tools have kind of gone wide. In comes Athena looking for that gold card. Ben4 kicks away Xiaohu as the triple bubble comes in from Ming, but it was all to take that mid lane tower, so I may do break it. Yeah,
Ben4 actually commits to kicking Xiaohu away. He doesn't flash kick and actually bring him towards the team because Aimei were just straight up looking for the turret. And now the summoner spells are still available, whereas Xiaohu does not have his. Perhaps a repeat offense is always going to be possible from the Lee Sin next time the kick is up.
I may actually do something proactive in the end, which is nice to see from them, utilizing those tools, making the right call and executing on it. Next Dragon, I don't feel too bad if Aimei were just trying to play around them, but it is going to be a Cloud Dragon at the end of the day following this one, so it's not precisely what they would want if they're playing the slower game. And Xiaohu caught out here.
Cleanse.
Gold card comes down, and the Fun Lord by itself is quite a lot. Road doesn't quite land that one, but the flash and the gold card and a hook seals the death sentence for Xiaohu.
And that's the thing, you don't have a cleanse available. He did have the flash, literally just came off cooldown, I might add, Xiaohu's flash. Then used, and death is the only thing left for him. So I may now get a pick. They're looking for more, and at the very least, they're looking for vision control because they want to set up for the Baron.
That feels really bad for Xiaohu, just getting caught out briefly there. I know he's speaking Mandarin, but it definitely looked like he said, what the F. Aimei are onto this Baron. 24, 25 minutes in. Amazing J is zoning away Ming. Where's MLXG? He's
MLXG's there.
Getting zoned away by Amazing J. He's dropping very low. Redemption coming out. Repel comes up. He's got no one to jump to. MLXG will have to flash this if he wants it. Road over the wall. Everyone over the wall. Where is Ben4? Get over there. He flashed over in for the smite. Secures it. No time to wait. Steal. Road. Everyone's going to jump back over the wall for Aimei. And Uzi has so many kills in his sights. He'll flash after. He swants it so badly. But Ben4 and Jinjiao stop that from happening. 2 kills. Baron to Aimei.
And Uzi does not get a thing. If he was able to actually turn that into kills, then perhaps Let Me keeps going bottom lane and get some extra turrets. But RNG's only win condition of the Fiora is now going to be up against a Baron buff. And that pretty much goes out the window for the next couple of minutes. That's a big play from Aimei. And really, it all starts with Athena taking down Xiaohu.
Oh boy. This game is starting to get out of hand. And let's take a look at that one more time. The great kind of dance that was happening behind the Baron pit.
Yakety sacks, honestly. Amazing Jay's just completely zoning them off. LXG, remember, has flash, had to use repel, had to flash. So that's his opportunity to get into the pit.
Everyone did a hokey pokey.
And don't let Uzi get kills. That's what it's all about.
Ben4 played this really well.
He did. He actually did. Picked away Uzi. Jinjiao also saving his flash the whole time. Comes over to help when it matters most. And really curious that I made this half-half decision of in and out. Still make it work.
Here comes Amazing J. Can't help but chuckle every time Kled uses an ultimate. Xiaohu cleanse has to be used here, but he's stunned again. There's too much CC. And the arrow lands from Jinjiao. That would have been him dead for sure. But Aimei are breaking open this space. Redemption comes down. Inhibitor up, but it's going to fall so quickly. RNG actually just give this one up. They have to give it up. And Ben4 jumps back to his team. Aimei, if they take this game, it will be insane.
They've almost secured themselves a spot into the playoffs here, Aimei. At the cusp of achieving that. They've already taken out one inhibitor. Xiaohu has no cleanse. MLXG no flash. Uzi nothing left.
Let Me gets hooked in. Oh, Road, what a great performance this game. And only followed up again with a fantastic hook. The mid lane tower gonna fall on this next wave for certain.
Road is actually God. He does not miss those hooks. It's such a good pick composition here from Aimei, but their sieging with this comp is outstanding. And now they siege in with one more wave.
Kled did go back to base, but it doesn't even matter. Athena does so much damage to these towers being Twisted Fate. And with this item build, hook comes in, Xiaohu dodges it.
They should back away.
We really want this in here, but yeah, backing away is the smart move. As Amazing J did not beeline it towards the mid lane.
Still committing. 10 seconds on Fiora, they want the inhib.
Yeah, it's because Amazing J said he's coming, and that gave inspiration to Aimei, and RNG actually just give it up. 9-1. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's close to, again, another perfect game, but the other way, this time to Aimee. Took them a little bit of time, and there was a bit of staling around the mid-game. But now, Aimee really have turned it on. And 28 minutes, if they actually finish this one off 2-1, they keep their playoff chances alive, and then I hope they brought their LGG jerseys with them, because it is then in their hands.
Amazingly enough, Uzi being relentlessly killed is the difference between RNG winning and losing. I know that's shocking, right? It's not shocking at all. It happens every single time RNG will lose a game. So, fantastic work from Aimee, actually playing around Jinjiao and Road, giving Road the capabilities of actually engaging, picking people off with the thresh hooks. Ben 4 coming down to assist them, even if he dies. Still acknowledging that the win condition is through their bottom lane. Now they siege the one remaining lane.
This has pretty much gone. Ming receives the alternate, the hook as well. We've gone fishing, and Ming has turned into sashimi. RNG are in such dire straits now. This is a really bad position to be in.
Thankfully, Ming was level 11, so he only dies for 30 odd seconds. He'll be up pretty quickly, and with the distance from the minions to get here, they've only got one wave without the Nami up. RNG may be able to hold on, especially with no Baron buff and no chance to actually clear the waves, which is why Aimee is sending people everywhere.
Flash, Flay, hook lands onto Xiaohu, follow-up from Athena. Let me walks forward to try and defend his team, but Ben4's looking to go in and look to go in deep. Athena into the backline, but he pulls a Messiah. No one can kill him. MLXG and Uzi go back to base. This tower will be falling. Super minions flooding into the base. I can't believe my eyes, but it looks like Aimee are gonna do it. They don't even look towards the inhib. Xiaohu being dead. It's a 4 versus 5. Tidal wave coming across from Ming. Is it going to be enough? MLXG
They've got one turret.
Road looking for it. Jumps in. Ben 4. Big kick onto the 2 members remaining. And Let Me cannot do anything at all. 4 for 0. We're going onto the spawn pad. We're trying to style on RNG because Aimee have deserved it. 2-1 in this series. Aimee defeat RNG.
You can see Amazing J was popping off down the bottom of your screen. He's excited, and so he should be. As Aimee, they managed to beat one of the best teams in the league, the #1 team in their own group. And they waited until week 10 to do it, but they've done it twice this split.
I found out what the burning smell was, and it was RNG in that game. And Uzi looked absolutely crushed. And that he should, because that was a well-deserved victory for Aimee. They wrestled it from the arms of RNG. And with that stellar performance, their playoff dreams are still alive.
You can only really commend Aimee for their performance. RNG, a lot of consistency in question, but at the end of the day, I'd rather spend more time talking about how good Aimee can look when they actually show up and are firing. Athena's definitely a star player, and very rarely gets opportunities to be exactly that, but when he's got Road backing him, that is truly when they actually look like one of the best teams.
Happy faces across the board from Aimee as well. And I've got to say, if there's an MVP in this game, for me, it was Road. The amount of hooks that he landed out of nowhere, the flash flays.
Yeah, Road, Jinjiao. I mean, Ben 4 still had a pretty good game.
Agreed.
He's been
And
starting
Athena
to
as well.
impress.
You can actually just say across the board, right? Like, no one had a bad performance by any means, but
That sums up Aimee as well, right?
Yeah.
Amazing J not carrying, but they still get a victory, then that means the rest of the team's all playing well.
exactly. Plus, Amazing J got the chance to play a Kled. It was a difficult top lane against the Fiora. He made it work. And Aimee come home with the win. They did the impossible. And there it is, Aimee. Very, very clean game in the end. And RNG, the couple times that they could come back into the game, maybe Uzi picks up a couple kills, completely shut down from that side of Aimee, from individual performances. And that was just straight up impressive. 30 minutes on the clock, not even 31 into the game. And that was it. Welcome back, Frascuran, to the desk. And I honestly don't think any of us expected an Aimee win here today.
It's the Cinderella story. I know every single year I continue to count Aimee out, and at the very end, right before the finish line, they continue to prove everyone wrong. Yes, RNG didn't have anything to play for here, but you could see it on their faces. Uzi did not look happy. They were frustrated, they were upset, and they had no idea how to attack Aimee and put them down.
Yeah, it spells bad things for RNG as they move into playoffs, honestly, but it is the Cinderella story from Aimee, and I know a couple of weeks back I called them the Quasimodo. I felt like the shoe didn't fit, and in fact they were better at this long-term planning, looking towards the late-game fights, but apparently we've gone right back to that story because the fact that they managed to take down RNG here was something that I didn't think was possible and many people didn't think. But now the fact that Snake have to fight extremely hard for their own lives to make it into playoffs in the first place is miraculous.
You'll have to double check, but I don't think it's possible
I'm
at
pretty
this
sure
point.
Snake are out.
Yeah,
Actually
Snake
done?
are out. IMA
Yeah.
are in because the thing is with this victory, it means that IMA end 8-8 and Snake are now 6-9. So the best that Snake can finish if they beat LGD is 7-9. With that victory, IMA have secured their playoff spot.
That is unbelievable. That is actually insane, the fact that that is the case. I mean, all praise to IMA, and I can't feel happier for them, honestly, at the end of the day, because they did it in the most difficult of circumstances. They couldn't have had a harder test in this final week. 1 game remaining, and it's against RNG.
And IMA came into this split and they had 2 goals. Don't get relegated, beat EDG. They have now accomplished both those goals, so sky's the limit. Like, where do we go from here next?
I don't think they can go much further than that, but they did really well to get here in the first
Wow,
place.
Rusty just like
He just
twist
went
that
in.
knife.
Hey, look, I mean, congratulations to them. They're deserving of the playoff spot, but they still came in 4th.
Yeah, so we need to understand now who they're looking across from, which is Chaogu into the playoff bracket, and it's also the fact that Chaogu have a 1-point advantage going into the best of 5. So it is a weighted gauntlet. It means that it's 3rd versus 4th. 3rd place team gets that 1-point advantage coming in the best of 5. So Chaogu only need to win a best of 3 to move on to quarterfinals, whereas I may have to win a best of 5 to move on to quarterfinals. So it's already very much stacked against them.
Oh, yeah.
That said, they seem to have figured out and shored up a lot of their weaknesses. So my biggest problem with IMA is we kept having to go to these 55-minute games that you were alluding to simply because there was this just like non-existent mid game. And I feel like Athena is particularly responsible there alongside Ben 4, and he stepped up massive on his Twisted Fate. He made sure that Jin Jiao got snowballed ahead. He was like 4-0 relatively early in the game on the Ashe, and like that's the thing. It's just bridging to Jin Jiao's power point, because once he's there, Jin Jiao will go off. This guy has now just proven across from Uzi of all people, on Lucian of all champions, that I am the superior AD carry in this matchup. Like, you will bow before me.
Who is it? Ah, it's Road. I'm pretty happy with that result because for me, he was the MVP of the game on that Thresh. Constant hook, setting up the play, setting up Jin Jiao, allowing him to carry. And my mind is cast back to that one hook he had in bot lane that just curved around the minions. Like, that shouldn't even be possible with the coding. But look at, there it is. Actually, this hook by itself.
Yep, steps forward and finds it, and Jin Jiao follows it up. And yeah, Jin Jiao was being spoon-fed by Athena, by Ben 4, by the likes of Rhodes Thresh. But again, it's that context. Rode was styling on not just any bot lane, Ming and Uzi's bot lane. Like, you could not say that about Jin Jiao and Rode last year.
Yeah, and I just honestly, again, praise to IMA. I know it's stacked against him, and that was a classic Little League Rusty coach coming in there. It's just like, good job, you made it to the big leagues, but now you're going to get crushed. Congratulations, but you still suck. IMA, there's still a chance they make it happen, but that being said, the group is stacked.
I mean, you just took me from 0 to 100 there. I definitely didn't say they suck. I just said that they've got an uphill battle. Thank you, Paul.
You're more than welcome to defend yourself. You're still on this desk.
I think IMA are fantastic if they can all get it together. Again, this is like still most of the team that went to Worlds and was able to compete at Worlds, take wins off teams there. But ultimately, they hadn't found a lot of the keys to success for them. So if they're able to replicate Game 3 repeatedly, then go for gold. They'll probably be able to make the finals because they just took out RNG.
And their biggest hurdle is truly in the first round, the fact that there's that point advantage to Chaogu. Once they get over that, you're then looking at Team WE later on in that bracket. So it's uphill, but I mean, if you're going to face or put IMA against anyone, Chaogu, who are super inconsistent, and WE, who will almost let you get to those late game points, that's kind of a 50-50 toss for IMA.
True. We also didn't see them flex those muscles so much in this game as we did flex other muscles that we didn't know even existed for the side of IMA, to be fair. So if they can go to those late games and incorporate all of the good things that they do have as a team against those teams in Group B, then maybe that is something they can bring to the table. But I'm just excited for what the future holds for the team of IMA. It does now move us to the topic of looking at RNG and what this means for them, because Game 1, I was happy to say it was a write-off. It's one of these games where they maybe weren't concentrating. Game 3, they were definitely concentrating. They definitely wanted to win, and we saw it from the facial expressions like that. I mean, unless Uzi is an Oscar-worthy actor, he was not happy.
He was very disappointed. Uzi was in a lane where there was nothing that he could do, but it also felt like RNG was not going to support him this time around. And, you know, we can say what we want about Uzi in particular, but MLXG was also entirely invisible in that game. And you have to wonder if it's because Ben 4 somehow out-jungled what is an experienced veteran jungler on the Elise, which is meant to be a ganking champion. But from that game alone, Ben 4 looked far superior to MLXG just because he was everywhere. He was selflessly ganking. He was throwing himself at players that gives his lanes advantages. MLXG had one little scuffle that he won with Ben 4 at level 3 and then just disappeared.
And there was a lot of great defensive play from Ben 4 as well. It wasn't just that aggressive attacking the bot lane, setting up those plays. It was constantly checking up on Kled and Fiora. Like every single time Ben 4 was running into MLXG. And yeah, it didn't equal any kills, but that was Ben 4 just covering Amazing J and shoring up that weakness there.
Yeah, maybe they need to do look back at some of the good performance even when Uzi wasn't there, and maybe that is something they need to incorporate into their style. That's not what we want to see from RNG, but it is what we want to see from IMA securing their playoff spot.